Good morning, Peter. This morning's chapter or law is very interesting. It's Law 27, the discipline equation. It talks about death, time, and discipline. Uh, Very interesting. When I read the chapter, what stood out for me is Stephen Bartlett puts in a table that actually starts counting the number of days that we've got as a human. I know it's based on an American expectancy age of 77. So based on that, you've got 27,375 days in your life. And if you 50 is a good example, you've spent about 18,000 of those days and you've only got 10,000 days left. And he takes it to the next level where he says, imagine if these days becomes chips and you were to gamble with them. How would you spend them if you know that they are uh, not infinite and that they are going to be stopping at a point in time? So I found that very, very interesting to say that's how he saw that. But it created this sense of urgency that said, time is limited and you need to get in this discipline of being intentional what you do with your time. Your thoughts around that?
I found it a real challenge, and as you say, this question of intentional living. Stephen Bartlett talks of his own life and how as a youngster, and I say youngster, teenager, early adulthood, that he spent his time chasing the wrong priorities, and it was only at a later stage that he measured them. And I say, when I look at my own life, I feel that I was chasing the wrong priorities for too long a period, and I've needed to prioritize them. So that was the important thing from my point of view. I don't know if you had got that same picture coming through.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Reading the chapter again this week sort of got me to this point of thinking it's so easy after you have a long day to just go and sit and do nothing for an hour or two, or start watching television for 3 4 hours, binge watching something, a series or something like that. And that's 3 hours that you've just thrown away. And if I the gambling bit and the tokens sort of stuck with me to say, would you just be throwing away your tokens? Because in some instances, what we're doing with our time is just throwing some of those tokens in the water. You're not even betting on something. So I think, yeah, for me that was the same thing to say, what are you doing with your time? And this week specifically, I really tried to focus on my time. And it's not making the most of it the whole time. It's also making sure that I sleep enough. I was sleeping not enough. I mean, I got in 3 4 hours a night, busy with stuff. It's not good enough. Um, and added to that, Peter, I'm going to just throw in something quickly. 3 or 4 times in this week, in my Bible study in the morning and a video somebody sent me, there was something about looking after your body, being healthy, eating healthy, doing the right things, doing some exercise. Um, and for me, that was also interesting. That also spoke about discipline. And today we're talking about discipline as well, the discipline of making the most of the time that you're given on this earth, following or pursuing the goal that you are given. I want to close with what Stephen said, being selective about how you spend your time and who you spend your time with is the greatest sign of self respect.
Yes, I was just going to raise the point to say you spoke about health, but I think an important factor is relationships. And from my side, I'm aware of the fact that I've wasted so much. And to me, the key issue is that the time is coming when I'm going to have to meet my maker, and I'm going to have to account for what I did with my gifts and talents. And that for me is a driving factor. And I certainly am aiming to finish strong. So my real challenge to the listeners is, what are you doing with your time and how are you spending it?